Hey everyone, I'm Matt with Ozark Overland Adventures. And in this video, we're going to talk about what honestly I thought was one of the strangest power stations Bluetti ever came out with. When I first saw the brand new, not released yet, you can get an early bird special pre-order kind of thing on Bluetti's website right now. Pricing, all that sort of stuff has not been released. But when I first saw this at the different videos on the 2025 CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, when they were showing the new Apex 300, I thought, what are you doing, Bluetti? This thing makes no sense. Why? And if you're a follower of the channel and you've seen all my other power station reviews and stuff, just a quick glance at the front of the Apex 300, you might be noticing a few key things missing. And that's exactly what I thought. But we'll get into that, because now that I've had this for a little while and have one of the key accessories for it, this thing really makes sense. And I'm honestly a big fan of the Apex 300. Quick specs of just what you see here. The Apex 300 looks like their other big, really more disaster recovery, power outage type of power stations, like the AC500, the AC300, and those sort of things, whereas those are just shells and inverters and all that sort of stuff that you have to plug in expansion batteries to make them work. This has 2,764 watt hours in the thing. So this is basically a 2,700 watt hour battery in this. And then with it is one of the largest inverters that Bluetti's put out. 3,840 watts of inverter power in this. And as you can see here on the front, 4 typical home style 120 volt AC outlets. Just your standard home socket, 120 volt, 20 amp max AC outlets, just your normal plugs. And in looking at that, why? Well, you got to turn it over here on the side, because over here you get your standard AC input from from just your basic AC cord, computer style cord here. But then you get a 50 amp plug, and this is both input and output. So yeah, this thing can charge at 50 amps. Then you get your standard 30 amp plug that you could, plug an RV into, or a van, or, small trailer, that sort of thing. And then you get another 50 amp plug also for an RV, or multiple things. So you get a 50 amp accessory port and a 30 and a 50 amp power plug ports there. So after having this a while, I really see 2 very important use cases. Now, I've done reviews on Bluetti's larger power stations, the AC300, the AC500, and those are fantastic, especially in regards to, home backup, disaster recovery, emergency preparedness, those sort of things. But this takes what those offer a step forward. This thing packs some amazing features that for the home backup, emergency preparedness scenario, this thing is incredible. And so that's use case number 1, is the home backup. The Apex 300, just as it sits, can charge at 3,800 watts, which is just bonkers through the 50 amp port. It is expandable to a mind-blowing 58 kilowatts. That's 58,000 watt hours of power that you can expand this. You can attach multiple Apex 300s in parallel. Those also connected to the B300K expansion batteries, and you can build out this gargantuan home battery array for your situation. Through that expansion, you can also get over 11,000 watts of output, which is going to run your entire home, like washer, dryer, refrigerator, TVs. I mean, you can power your entire house with 11,000 watts of power. So if you have a power outage, the hurricane came through and you got to do laundry, that's no problem. You can. So, I mean, that's a horrible situation, but I mean, it's just ridiculous how much power you can get out of this and expanding and the whole ecosystem of the Apex 300. It's just crazy. This is the first power station I've seen with a 0 millisecond UPS. So if the power does go out and you've got everything plugged into this, there's 0 milliseconds cut over from power outage to running off of this. It also, as you see from this toggle switch here, you can select it from 120 volt to 240 volt. So if you have, a need to run 240 volt appliances when the power's out, you can do that. Little toggle switch right there. And if you happen to have, solar panels on your roof, this standalone item right here can charge with up to 2,400 watts of solar, which is crazy. But add multiple of these together and you can input over 30,000 watts, 30 kilowatts of solar input into these. I mean, you might as well just disconnect. I mean, if you want to build an off-grid cabin or, be off-grid, there you go. There's your solution. Super simple, plug and play. This thing makes it easy. If you happen to own an EV, this thing does have 12 kilowatts pass-through. So you can have this. I mean, they make kits for this thing to, integrate into your home wiring and all that sort of stuff. Super simple kits too. They've really taken that and made it easy to build out the backup system in your home. And what I think one of the coolest thing is, like say you live in a hurricane or tornado prone area, this actually receives weather alerts. And if it receives a weather alert that, you're in an extreme weather situation, thunderstorm warning, tornado warning, hurricane, all that sort of stuff, this will automatically kick into dual charging. It can dual charge from solar and AC, and just make sure that everything is fully topped off and ready to go in case the power goes out. So if you live in that type of area, I mean, this thing can be a lifesaver for you. Now, let's get to the second use case, because the Apex 300, if you have an RV, if you have a van, if you have a off-road trailer type of thing, I don't think this would work really good like building out in a rig like our Gladiators or a Wrangler or an SUV or that sort of thing. I don't really see that shining in that area. But RV, van, trailer, this right here makes it so simple to have a fully integrated power system set up that allows you to avoid all the complicated wiring and different accessories and charge controllers and all that sort of stuff that you need when you are outfitting a trailer or a van or an RV. But you're saying, but Matt, there's no DC, there's no 12 volt. Well, yeah, there is, because this is Bluetti's. They call it their Hub D1, and it's a little accessory box that for like this has a clip on it that you can clip it to the handle and it'll stay there. This plugs into the expansion port here. And boom. With this, I now have 2 USB-A's, 2 100-watt USB-C's. I've got 2 typical, 12-volt outlet car cigarette lighter type of 10 amp ports here, and 2 5.5 millimeter barrel plugs. Which this alone, I mean, gives you a lot of options. So you can, charge things into the AC outlets, plug the RV into this. You can, charge your phones, charge different USB devices, run electric blanket, diesel heater, assuming the diesel heater can work on 10 amps. That's a diesel heater issue, not a this issue. And you got the barrel plug, so for CPAPs, those sort of things. Lots of expansion options here for that. You can, this little thing does come off, and you can mount it to, you know, the wall, or you know, wherever you want to mount it, in a cubby or whatever in your RV van or trailer. And I mean, you know, plugging it, if that's not enough power, add an expansion battery to it, grow it as your needs grow. Solar on the roof. I mean, this thing can take more solar than you can fit on a roof of a vehicle. And boom, you're ready to go. Now, the coolest thing, Bluetti has always included with their bigger power stations like this, some type of 30 amp DC output. And it's typically been either like an aviation style plug or a proprietary plug from Bluetti, which kind of makes it a pain. Check this out. 50 amp Anderson output. Anderson plug, super simple. Anybody that's, you know, been doing the DIY electrical stuff knows an Anderson plug. And they even provide the mate to this. So boom, you got the, you know, just run your appropriate gauge wires and run those out to a distribution box. And from there, you know, go crazy. Run your USB ports everywhere. Run your, you know, 12-volt sockets everywhere. Plug it into whatever you need to do to outfit your RV van, trailer, you know, whatever. This makes it super simple to be able to outfit your, you know, your Overland vehicle of choice with a full power management system. It's got the charge controllers, built in AC shore power, all that sort of stuff, 50 amp outputs for, you know, running all your stuff in your RV. It just makes it way simple than doing a whole, you know, multi-battery, multi-charge controllers, you know, distribution blocks, all that sort of stuff. This just makes life so easy. And I know you're thinking, but wait, how am I going to charge this? I mean, Bluetti does include the little 12-volt cigarette adapter charger, that you could, you know, plug it in and charge it at, you know, 90 to 100 watts, almost 3,000 watt hours of power. That's not going to get you very far. So you get the Bluetti Charger 1 and run this to your alternator, this into this. And you can charge this at 560, 580 watts. Can't remember which one, which is going to be plenty. And, you know, for while you're driving, charge it from your alternator. I mean, you just got a really simple all-in-one solution for outfitting your van or RV or trailer or whatever. Now, with any new power station from Bluetti, it obviously comes with an incredible app. This app allows you to do and control all the features on the Apex 300. Turn off the ports on the expansion hub here. And I mean, it's all there. Check for firmware updates. Before I recorded this video, there was a firmware update for this, so I did do that. You can turn on the AC ports. You can see inputs and outputs, how much time is left. Go into the settings here. You know, turn your weather alerts on and off if you don't want that to happen. You can disable that. This thing if you've got this set up in a home backup scenario, this does connect to your home Wi-Fi. You can connect to this remotely, which is pretty cool. So the Bluetti app just keeps getting better and better. And I love the fact that as you plug things into this, you get the option to see them and control them in the app. So if I were to unplug the hub here, then those features would be disabled in the app. But since I've got it plugged in, they're there. So what are my gripes? And just initial, you know, like I said, Bluetti hasn't officially released this yet. You cannot go to their website and buy it. You can pre-order it though. But my initial gripes are, and I think the key one is, everything's an accessory. Depending on, and I get it, but also I think there's some things that should not be an accessory. For example, this thing comes with the 12 volt cord. This should be an accessory because this does not make sense for the Apex 300. It just doesn't. To charge it from the cigarette outlet doesn't make sense. It does not include the solar cable for this. That should not be an accessory that you have to buy extra. So this should come with the MC4 cables and not this. But depending on your use case, you know, this hub is an accessory. You have to purchase it separately. There's another one if you're integrating this into your home. There's a different hub that helps with all that integration. That's obviously a standalone accessory. You know, different adapters for the 50 amp inputs and outputs. You know, if you want to connect this to your dryer to this, well, the dryer, you know, your home laundry dryer uses a special kind of plug. Well, that's not on the side here. You gotta get an adapter to go from the accessory port to that plug to your dryer. So everything's an accessory, which means, you know, it's just gonna add up and add up and add up. But I get it. Not everybody's gonna need the dryer plug. Not everybody's gonna need the home kit. Not everybody's gonna need the DC hub like this. So I get it. But things like the solar charging, I don't get that at all. That's silly. You should include it. And actually they should include two, because this has two separate solar controllers. To get that 2,400 watts of solar, it's 1,200 per side. So I think they should include two, just with the kit. Other than that, I mean, that's really the biggest one. Is just everything is an accessory. I mean, obviously it's heavy. It's going to be heavy. It's, you know, over 2,700 watt hours of battery in here. So, I mean, it's 87 pounds, 83 pounds, mid 80s, for it. But that's really it. It's a cool system. If you are building out something new and you don't want to get into the complicated wiring, for, you know, an Overland trailer or van RV, this is a serious contender for just making it simple and outfitting your stuff. For the home backup, this has more features than any other power station that Bluetti puts out anyway. Than others that I've seen. This makes the most sense for home backup, disaster recovery, those sort of things. It's just, like I said, when I first saw it, I thought, what are you doing? It's only got AC outlets. We need the DC outlets, those sort of things. But now that I've had it, now that I've learned really the purpose for this, I think it's brilliant. It just has so many cool features for two different use cases, and I think it fits them great. So there you go. There's the new Bluetti Apex 300. Link is in the description. I don't know what the price is going to be at the release time. It's supposed to be pretty affordable. Since everything is, you know, add-ons and expansions, I would think so. But yeah, there you go. So let me know in the comments what you think. Does this make sense? Do you like the expandability and the modularity of it? You know, are you building out an Overland trailer and you think, wow, that'll work for me? Or do you still think, you know, just doing a battery bank and all the accessories and stuff for that makes more sense for you? Anyway, if you would like the video, subscribe if you're not to the channel. Check out our Patreon link if you want to consider supporting the channel and gain access to special events, special content, all of our GPS data from our trips, and for all of our merchandise, go to shopoverlandapparel.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time.